Hi everyone, it's Leslie Sue, the host for Art and Talk. Today I'm so excited to bring to you the final interactive collective Art and Talk poem inspired by David Bowie. As I'm sure you know, David Bowie is considered a highly influential musician of the 20th century, British singer-songwriter. So on our Facebook page for the past couple of months, we have had a post where anybody could contribute a line or two to an interactive, collective Art and Talk community poem. So again, this was inspired by David Bowie. And if you're not familiar with one of the methods he used for his lyrics is what he called cut up strips. So basically what that entailed is he would write down on a piece of paper basically sentences, things that didn't necessarily go together. There may have been sort of even a disassociation between the lines. And then once that was completed, then he would cut them into strips. And then he would place the strips in a specific order, and that would create the song lyrics. Now, I don't believe he was the originator of this cut up strip style for songwriting, but he did adopt it very often in his lyrics. So we decided to do that on Art and Talk. As you know, we're all about meeting artists and being inspired. So here we're honoring David Bowie and his legacy, his music, and in this particular case, his songwriting style, his method that he uses, cut up strips. So I have completed the poem. It's absolutely amazing. I hope that everybody enjoys it. I found it very interesting. So before I get to that, we had five artists who contributed. So I'm going to need to look at my notes and I'm going to read their names and specifically the lines that they contributed. Okay, I'm just reading them in order of the way that they were posted on our Facebook page. So the first entry was Danielle Martin, and Danielle Martin is a past guest artist. She's been on our platform with a full-length interview. She's a writer, a poet, a published author. So you definitely want to check out her full-length video on our YouTube channel. And she's also been featured as a Poet of the Month as well. All right, so this is what Danielle Martin contributed. These are her lines. Pull me into the soothing moonlight so that I may be well rested for tomorrow's war. All right, and then our next submission was by Nelson Moturi. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Okay, and he's new to our Art and Talk community. Welcome, Nelson. Okay, this is what Nelson contributed for our collective interactive poem, again, to honor David Bowie. Last night I saw you caressing the stars. Wish you could do the same with my heart. All right, so thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Nelson. Now I'm going on to our third submission for our interactive collective poem, and she contributed the following. If I would turn back the wheel of time and have you in my arms again, that time it'd be for life till forever come. So thank you, she writes right, for that. And our fourth contributor is Rob Souch. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Let me know. Thank you, Rob. It's great to have you in our community. And she writes right, thank you. Okay, so Rob contributed, I released my mind to wonder. Out of the shell, I kept it under. And questions rumble out like thunder. All right, Rob, thank you. Okay, and then our fifth contributor, he on Facebook, he goes by Nicholas. On our platform, he's been a prior guest. He goes by Nicholas Marino. Now he covers a variety of different avenues of art as an artist. He's a poet, he's a writer, he's a painter, he's a muralist, he's a photographer. He's also into health and fitness. So do check out Nicholas's full-length video on our Art and Talk YouTube page. Get to know him, get to know Danielle as well, who I mentioned first. All their contact information is on there. And Nicholas has also participated in Art and Talk's Flash show, and he's also been a featured poet as well. And he's also participated in 2022. We had Let's Talk About Love, a poetry reading that he also participated in. All right, so here's what Nicholas contributed. In a turn of events, you were still there, never left my side, with your fingers pressed in between my hair, letting me know you'll be here to stay. All right, so those were the contributing artists. And again, thank you so much, Danielle. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, She Writes Right, Rob, and Nicholas. Thank you so much. It's great to see familiar faces, and it's wonderful to have new additions to our Art and Talk community. So again, welcome. We're so glad to have you here. And thank you so much for the submissions. Okay, so the way that I did this, I'll just discuss the process briefly, and then I'll get to the final poem. So some of the videos that I've watched of David Bowie, when he's already cut the strips, he's actually looking at them and placing them and coming up with his song lyrics in that respect. So I wanted to keep this a little more free form. I wanted it to sort of have its own life and own identity. So what I did is I cut the strips up. Now, I just want to mention before that I wanted to create several lines. So like, for example, what I did is I would take individual lines that each of the contributing artists contributed. So for example, She Writes Right. As one line, I did, if I would turn back the wheel of time. And that was one strip. And then the next one, which continues in her submission, says, and have you in my arms again. So that was a separate strip. And then the next one from She Writes Right is, the time it'd be for life till forever come. Okay, so that was a third line. So I was trying to get as many lines as possible, and I wanted it to have a sequence that I felt was a little bit more kind of apropos to the way that I've heard David Bowie express his songwriting lyric method using this cut up strip. So it has to have like a very unique flow, and kind of just seeing what happens in the spontaneity of cutting the strips and then placing them. Okay, so with that being said, I was able to get 15 specific strips. Now, what I did with that is, again, wanting to give it its own life and own identity, as I had a candle lit to kind of bring in some ambiance. I also took some photos, so I'll see about incorporating some photos so you guys can see the way that how the process played out. So then I took the strips and I kind of shuffled them, I mixed them up. And so what my hand that was writing and my right hand without looking, so I had no idea what I was actually selecting, was picking up the individual strips, and then I would write it down what that line was. And then on the back, I flipped it over and I would document if that was line 1, line 7, line 14, etc., in case I needed to go back to it. So that was a little bit about the process. Okay, so here is the final poem. Now, I don't have a title for it, so I want to know what you would call this, and we'll go from there, and maybe we'll have a little another interactive situation with determining the title. So it'll be interesting for me to find out what you think. All right, let's get to the fun part. Again, here's the Art and Talk interactive community poem inspired by David Bowie's cut up technique. So again, without looking, just letting it free form, this is how it went. This is the opening line. With your fingers pressed in between my hair, you'll be here to stay. Last night, I saw you caressing the stars. The time it'd be for life till forever come. Wish you could do the same with my heart. And questions rumble out like thunder. And have you in my arms again. You were still there, pulling me into the moonlight, pulling me into the soothing moonlight, so that I may be well rested for tomorrow's war. I released my mind to wonder. If I would turn back the wheel of time, in a turn of events, out of the shell, I kept it under, letting me know. I thought this was just fantastic. Just a few things that I noticed here. There's obviously kind of a relationship theme going on, although it could be looked at in different ways. So let me know how you look at it. As I mentioned, I shuffled the strips. Looks like Danielle's actual submission came in sequence, line by line. I guess that was meant to be. I thought it was fascinating, the opening line. I'm just kind of going back to my notes here. With your fingers pressed in between my hair. Like, what a cool opening line. And then you'll be here to stay. There's a lot of references to time, like there's last night, there's going back in time, and then there's also references to eternity with forever come. I love the elements that are included, the moonlight, the stars, thunder. There's a lot of like tactile, like with the sense of touch, with the visual sense too, along with the words, some imagery is drawn up, and I'd like to know what you think as well. References to the mind, so the mind kind of like being a part of this sort of like perusing and thinking about and wondering and imagining and kind of almost like wishing and hoping. And I love how these two lines came back to back, again, spontaneously. If I would turn back the wheel of time, and then the next line goes, in a turn of events. I thought, how cool is that, that would be back to back, those two lines. And the way it ends, I just thought was just this like magical way to end it, and with this unique flow. So the second to last line is, out of the shell, I kept it under. And then the last line is, letting me know. It's almost like it's coming full circle within the poem itself. I just have a few other notes. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. And again, I want to hear your thoughts on it. I love the descriptive words with like soothing, the soothing moonlight, caressing, again, getting lots of different descriptive words. And I just thought this was fantastic. I'd like to know if the Art and Talk community would like to do something like this again, something interactive where everybody can contribute, those that are interested. And if so, what would that be? And also, we'd like to open this to any singer-songwriter musicians that would like to turn this into a song. That would be fantastic. Of course, you would get, creative license to maybe kind of tweak it a little bit, so it can be sung, so it can be played to your liking, to your ears, to your musicianship, so that it can actually be a song, but still kind of, keeping the juice or the heart of the poem as well. So if any singer-songwriter that's been a prior guest or a singer-songwriter who's watching this would like to turn it into a song, that would be fantastic. Do create a video of yourself performing it or your band, and you can email it to us at viewoftheartist@gmail.com. I'll include that again in the description under this video. So if you'd like to contact us with that, and we'll make sure that we include all of your social media connections as well. So that would be great to take it from this level of poetry and a potential song into an actual song by a singer-songwriter, musician. That would be fantastic. All right, so again, thank you so much for those that contributed. I'll include the text of the poem as well, so you can see that. And those that contributed, thank you so much. I'd love to know your thoughts, and everyone else, what do you think of this poem? And what would you like for Art and Talk to do so that we can collaborate on collectively as a group? And let me know your comments about this poem. It was super fun for me to create. I love the whole process. I love how it turned out, and that we could honor David Bowie in this way. All right. So thanks so much for watching this. Again, let us know what you think about our interactive collective poem. Again, let me know what you think we should name it, because right now it's titleless, and we want to give it a title. All right. So again, thank you so much. Thank you to our Art and Talk community. We appreciate you so much. All right. So we'll talk soon on the next Art and Talk. Until then, be well and be blessed. And don't forget, please also subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please support us, support the arts, support artists, and also please follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook. We so appreciate your support. And final conclusion here, we'll talk soon on the next Art and Talk. Until then, be well and be blessed.